There's something in the air in addition to all this for those of you who are living in America, a place that I helped to found, along with many of you. You know it's election season. Quite entertaining in a way.
That's a nice word for it.
Absolutely entertaining, with all of the commotion, all the noise, and especially all of the power. Elections, no matter where they're held, are generally about power. It's a power game. They talk about serving the people, but very few actually do. It's been decades since there's actually been a national candidate who really focused on serving the people, because it doesn't serve the needs of power. Ooh. Feel into the elections this year as what you would call a spiritual study or a metaphysical study. Without making judgment of one candidate being right or wrong, feel into it. What's really going on? The populace, what are they doing? Why are they following certain candidates? Why do they get in a frenzy about this? Why is there so much divisiveness and name calling? And it's all based in power. It's truly amazing to watch. And underneath all of this, as you're being the observer, watch how so much of it is also about freedom. The word freedom rather than the act of freedom. The talk about freedom, where actually none is really given, in a sense, more and more is being taken away. But all of the dynamics of freedom and power working together or against each other. Freedom isn't about what other people are letting you do. Freedom is about what you let yourself do. And there's a very, very big difference. People will scream for their freedom, for their rights, as another should give them. When the reality is freedom is about yourself, what you are allowing and giving to you. Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you freedom whatsoever. You can be in a prison and have more freedom than the person out walking the streets. Freedom is an internal thing. As you listen to all the political rhetoric in this election season, and you'll get plenty of it, as you listen to it, I also want you to go in and feel within yourself the election system that you've been having within you. Who's going to be in charge, the victimized human self or the empowered human? Is it going to be an aspect, a wounded and damaged aspect, or is it going to be a healthy, integrated aspect? Listen to the debates that go on within your mind each and every day about who's going to be in charge. Listen to who promises more freedom, who promises more wealth, who promises more happiness, who promises less rules but actually never delivers. Because in a way, what that human self has been living up to now has been one constant ongoing election. You realize we've been sitting around for thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years in the Ascended Masters Club. There's only a little over 9,000 of us. The stories are getting old. No, when you get there, please, I'm almost begging you, embellish the stories a little bit. Start rehearsing now. Take the worst thing that's happened in your life and turn it into a story. Have fun with it. I tell you that for one thing, because you're not really doing it for the Ascended Masters. They need a good laugh. They need a really good laugh. You're doing it for yourself. Because that 3 worst things that happened in your life that you're still stuck about and maybe a little wounded, have energy knots, is not actually what happened. Memories are emotional knots. They're stuck. They go into your memory. They're like a blanket over your entire being. And that's what you think you remember. This terrible thing happened to me. Have some fun with it. It will release that energy that's so stuck. You'll see the humor in it, and then you'll start to see that's actually not what happened. The mind will insist that that happened. The mind will even say, I have a photo to prove it. It's That's actually not what happened. Part of what happened, but not the whole thing. Once you start acting out your stories, rehearsing for when you get to the Ascended Masters Club, because they need a good laugh. Once you start acting it out, you will realize that all those memories, all that crap that's stored in there is nothing but emotion. It is not fact and figures. It is not. You know, there's nothing like relationships on this planet. There's nothing like it. Not in any of the other realms, not in any of the other inhabited planets, nothing like the human relationship. There are so many levels in it. There's the emotions, there's the sex, there's the sharing and caring aspect, there is the, in the midst of a lot of loneliness, the relationship, close relationship with somebody will make you feel that you're not alone, at least for a little bit. Human relationships are the best and the toughest. There's nothing like it anywhere in all of creation, a human-to-human relationship. The closest relationship you've ever had, you may not realize it yet, is with yourself. Now, you've had a lot of other wonderful and some awful relationships, but the closest relationship you're ever going to have is with yourself. You may not have realized it because so much of the self was shut down. And what we're going to do today is we're going to master up. We're going to bring in the master. And you're going to discover, you're going to realize that that is the closest, best friend you've ever and will ever have. The master has always been here, always. The master is the one who is not caught up in all of the human drama and trauma. The master is the one who is in total allowing. The master realizes there is no death. The master realizes that so much energy gets stuck in the human, but not in the master. The master will not tell you what to do or try to control you or any of those other things. But if you listen to that master that you are, if you pause for a moment, you're going to feel something coming from that master, a perspective that the human would not otherwise consider. You're going to feel a level of compassionate love, unconditional love that you've never felt before. The master is profoundly wise, absolutely wise. Master's not going to make you change things, not going to start directing your life, certainly not going to control or manage it. But when you stop for a moment, dear human, you just stop for a moment and you feel into, you sense into the master that you are. Suddenly you'll have a perspective about your human life and the master life simultaneously that you've never had before. You're going to have a new relationship with yourself. You're getting married to you and the master all at the same time. And that's very good news. Very good news. Very good that we're here in the Transhuman Series. But to the human, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to feel awkward. You're going to flip. 1 minute laughing, the next minute crying. You're not going crazy. You're just mastering up. We've got a lot of experiences together in this series, in the realization that the master is here. No longer talking about it or thinking about it or preparing for it. It's here. It's here. It's time. But I do want to let the human know it's going to be confusing. You're going to be in two perspectives. And you're flipping back and forth and then also together at the same time. You're going to be flipping. You're going to be a flippin' master. Or as the master would say, you're a flippin' human. We'll talk more about it next month, but right now, it's time to master up.